I'm a goofball, just so you know.
Now there's some things that we can talk about. I saw some things that I can kind of give a lead on that you can jump into.
Oh yeah, and end of your charitable giving.
Well, this is kind of tied to that. How many
Sure.
nonprofits have lost grant funding because grants are not being funded anymore? It's,
Good afternoon and welcome to the Noon Show with Lisa and Johnny. We are coming to you live and streaming everywhere. The Noon Show airs Monday through Friday from noon until 1 o'clock Central Time. Each day, we bring you engaging conversations, fresh perspectives, and stories that connect us all. Johnny and I would like to invite you to join us along with today's show guest, Dr. Stephen Weinman, Associate Professor in the Department of Chemical and Biological Engineering at the University of Alabama. So, for today's conversation, pull up a chair, sit back, and relax. And now, without further ado, here's Johnny.
oh, Happy New Year, Merry Christmas, and all that good stuff that's going on. Hi, Miss Sunshine.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm excited. I'm like trying to not hop up and down right now. I'm
Yeah,
just so excited. I love Spotlight on Stone.
We're in your wheelhouse, aren't we? And
Yes.
you've turned me on to it.
I've already
And,
told Dr. Weinman I'm a goofball, but I do for reals. Like
You
no
love this
no
stuff.
kidding. I love
yes,
it.
you do.
I love it, and I think
But-
everyone else should too. And that's the
But to
point.
your credit, you have turned me on to it, and we've now developing an extensive show series.
You know
Now, well, I don't even know if I want to call it a series anymore. I think I want to call it a theme, because we do so much in terms of bringing the research and the STEM related to our audience, and we're all learning.
We are, and it's extremely important.
And
All
I would
jokes
say-
aside, it's
yeah.
extremely important.
It
I
really
think it's a
is.
shame that people don't know, but we are starting the conversation.
You're indeed correct, and you've brought that to me, and you know how excited I get about it. But it's become a foundation of the Noon Show, and I think it's got some real legs to it. And I think we're going to make an impact in the new year because of what we're doing.
I
So-
think 26 is ours with,
I think
with
it's our
this
year.
series and maybe with
Yeah.
some other things
and
too.
who knows what might happen. But hope everyone out
Yeah.
there. Thank you, number one, for tuning in today to the Noon Show, and for all your support in 2025.
Absolutely.
You really helped us grow the program, helped us raise the conversation, raise the elevation of our subject matter. You let us know all the time how much you appreciate what we're bringing to you. And
Right.
we'll keep striving to bring even more and keep raising the level of conversation and learning for all of us. So thank you. Hope everyone had a wonderful Christmas season, and looking forward to a wonderful 2026, which is only a couple of
Gosh,
2 or
can you
3
believe how
days.
fast that's coming up?
I remember last year at this time, I was saying, oh, goodness, how am I going to get through January and February? Yuck. And here we are. We're back at January and February again. Here
Are
we go.
those the two slowest months of the year? What do you think, Dr. Wyman? I mean,
I think so.
he's younger than we
Well,
are, so I want to
January
know.
and February tends to pick up because we got to start of a new semester.
Well, that makes
Well, you
flying
got
by the
fresh,
seat
you
of our
got
pants.
fresh energy, right?
right.
You know, at the start. Yeah, that's different.
One of the interesting things, and we chase rabbits a lot around here, but one of the interesting things is I get to talk to a lot of young people. And it used to be the older you get, the faster time seems to. Well, everybody's now saying, boy, time is really flying. And I don't think age has anything to do with it anymore.
Nope, not at all.
I think we're all
It's
either
disturbing how quickly it goes.
we're
to me,
either so
honestly.
busy we don't see the time flying, or my theory is God's turned the knob a little
Yeah.
bit and
Yeah.
speeded it up
There's
on
always
us.
that saying I like to have: the days are long, but years are short.
Very good.
That is so true.
That is true.
Very well articulated. I
But
agree with
Sunshine,
that.
we've been trying to remind everybody these last few days of the year. We've been, I think, pretty consistent about reminding everybody that this time of the year, it's an interesting number. It's either 25 to 40%. I think it depends on the nonprofit we're talking about. But 25+% of all funding for local nonprofits happen in the month of December.
Isn't that incredible?
And over the last few days, especially as people make they're obviously getting ready for tax season coming up in 2026.
It seems logical to me, though,
It
because
does make sense.
it's that time you're going to take a look
That's
to see
right.
where you are financially,
And
et cetera,
Christmas
et cetera.
creates kind of a giving atmosphere.
That too.
So it all kind of works together. But Sunshine and I want to remind everybody that you still got 2 or 3 days to make that year-end charitable donation, that contribution. You need to do it. And I'll tell you another reason. Not only is a tax advantage for each one of us, but our nonprofits also, they're trying to meet their budgets year end. Some of them haven't met their budgets yet. And they're depending on we, the citizens and people out here to support them. And there's so many wonderful nonprofits. The other thing I read this morning, which I hadn't thought about, we've talked about the grants at the federal level that have been not funded. Well, guess what?
What?
We've got nonprofits suffering because of that, because grant dollars have dried up because the federal government hadn't funded certain parts of the organizations that they go to. For example, Kentuck, I saw an article from Exodus Skinner this morning that they have struggled all year because many of the grants had not been funded. And so they're like everybody else. They depend on us to kind of jump in, make our contributions, our year-end donations.
Here's the thing, Johnny. I mean, many of our listeners may be in the same boat that I'm in. I had no idea that Kentucky received federal funding.
Well,
I didn't know that.
Well, they don't receive federal funding, but what I'm
or they're the grants.
They're federal governmental entities that are funded by federal dollars, and those entities are the grant writers. That's who they write grants. For example, let's take the arts.
Okay.
The National Endowment of the Arts. Their funding has been cut. Therefore, a local Kentucky would be a good example. The Arts Council would be a good example.
Okay.
Their grants are not being funded because at the federal level, the dollars have been cut.
It's a trickle down.
It definitely, that's a great way to put
it.
And that's what's happening.
I see what you mean. Not a direct thing. Okay.
We talked about it. Some of our researchers, I remember that was one of the issues that came up with several of the researchers who have been on here, that their funding has been cut.
Yeah, like NSF, for example.
National Science Foundation, all those different groups.
Dr. Weinman might know a little something about that. Yeah.
So, and of course, we've been advocating to make sure our members of our congressional delegation, by the way, who have been supportive, especially Senator Britt and Robert Adderholt, our congressman, have been very supportive in bringing those funds back into the budget.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for that.
Thank you. But if you happen to know any of those leaders, and you can let them know how much we appreciate their support and encourage them. We need to reinstill a lot of that funding because it's hurting a lot of folks.
We do. So we need to continue to shine a light on that issue. Absolutely. And keep it at the very forefront of our minds.
And we'll continue to do that because Congress goes back into session in January, and that's a good time for all of us. We'll keep bringing this up.
Absolutely. I agree with you 100%. So I was wondering, can I go ahead and talk to Dr. Weinman a little bit?
Of course you can.
So I wanted to talk just a little bit, like before we even get into the real like nitty gritty of what we're going to talk to Dr. Weinman about. So I've got this little thing that I prepared just to sort of introduce the segment. We'll talk about, get into it the next segment after the commercial, but
makes sense.
So, earlier I asked this leading question to both of you, and you both thought it was kind of thought provoking. So say you guys go to the river market on a Saturday, and that gorgeous river, Black Warrior River, is just there. You ever thought about what it takes to get that water to where it's actually drinkable?
Yeah.
Suitable
for
question. Human consumption.
We take it for granted.
Right. So today we're talking about something every single one of us depends on, but you probably don't think about it unless you're somebody like Dr. Weinman. That would be clean water. Our guest, Dr. Stephen T. Weinman from the University of Alabama, is an engineer who studies membranes. And we're going to talk more about what membranes are. Don't be put off by that, okay? And no, not cell phones or fabrics. These are incredibly thin materials that act like smart filters. So Dr. Weinman suggests thinking of them as membrane filters.
Yeah.
So These let clean water pass through and they block the harmful contaminants. So his research focuses on making these membranes work better, last longer, and help communities treat water more efficiently, which has real world impact on everything,
It does.
right? From what comes out of your kitchen faucet to how cities manage water and wastewater, which is something I personally never think about. We're excited to break this science down into everyday language and talk about why it matters to all of us.
Yeah, we're so happy you're here because
Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here.
To Lisa's point, we truly do take it for granted. Unless you've been in a situation where you've seen a river like the Black Warrior used to be, if you've ever seen it where you could light a match and it would actually burn.
Yeah, that's a problem.
And
Wowza.
that actually happened in Tuscaloosa for many years. And, Mother Nature's helped clean it up and we take it for granted though. I mean,
Boston Harbor, I don't know if you remember about any of that. My boss are all over the place.
Baltimore Harbor comes to mind.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Things up in Michigan. I remember reading some
Flint,
stories.
Michigan was a big problem.
Oh, it was a huge issue. But, in Tuscaloosa, we do see that beautiful river.
Was that the one with the big fire, the Flint? Or am I thinking of something
No,
else?
Flint was, they switched water sources.
Okay,
and
gotcha.
messed up the piping system.
Yeah, it
Gotcha,
was
gotcha.
a total
It was a
mess.
disaster.
It really was. But to Lisa's point, we do take it for granted. We take Lake Tuscaloosa for granted, which is a huge source
We
for
have
our drinking
lots
water.
of water around here.
Yeah.
We take that for granted, and we quite frankly take the science that happens for many of us in the background.
Mhm.
This doesn't just happen by magic. There's no fairy godmother waving a wand
That's right.
making this water clean enough for us to drink.
And then oftentimes we'll hear the controversies going on between maybe an environmental group and local government. Who do you believe? I mean, how do you find the real facts of what's really happening? And answering that question, is our water clean?
Yeah, here in town it is.
Here
totally
in
fine.
Yeah,
Yeah.
here in town it is. But I also like to advocate for the fact that you were talking about research funding,
Mhm.
budget cuts. Why this funding is so important, and I would like to help promote that we reinstate this funding
Well,
and
absolutely.
shine a spotlight on that as well.
Has that
Yeah.
impacted your research?
I haven't had anything cut directly, but in terms of applying for other projects to work on more projects, yeah, I mean, there's been a
It's
significant cut
limited numbers now.
and
Yeah.
places to apply,
Yeah.
things that are funding that's coming out, different applications. So it's definitely impacted the stuff that we do.
And I know we're going to go to break just in a minute, but I'll put this question out so when we come back we can. Where are the key funding sources for your type of research? We'll talk about it after the break, but where does that federal funding, how does it affect you? And where are the specific areas that comes from? What department, that kind of stuff. So we'll talk about that.
Those are all interesting questions, Johnny Rocket.
Well, I'm always wanting to know where we need to go to either replenish the fund or increase it,
And why should we all care?
because we want clean water.
We do want clean water. Okay, guys, you're not going to want to miss a single moment of this. You've been listening to The Noon Show on FM 100.1. Don't go away. We will be right back. Okay.
Where does it come from? What agency?
I've had
affect-
mostly the National Science Foundation, but
Okay,
I've
so
also,
NSF.
that's a
again.
big one for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've also had funding from the Bureau of Reclamation, which is based out of Colorado.
I've never heard of that.
They have a
That would be under the
That's
Department of
the new one,
Interior.
man.
yes under the Department of
Department of
Interior.
Interior.
And they have they
You know
had, I don't know if they still do, they had a program that was desalination and water purification program. So that was stuff that we exactly fit
Is
into.
it still there?
I have funding from them. The organization still exists. I'm not sure if that particular program,
'Cause I know they're
Really
cutting funding. to a
exist
bunch of
anymore?
stuff.
I haven't seen the new call come out. Typically we would apply to that in November. But obviously everything was shut down for a long time. so-
What is reverse osmosis? What is
Yeah,
that?
so exactly what I'm working on.
Is that what you're working on?
Yeah. So so as
What
What?
is that?
there-
I
there's-
don't know how to explain that
Right.
one to me.
So you are taking salt water and removing the water from the salt water like passing through the
Okay,
membrane.
okay,
We're
that's
not
right.
allowing the so pass through.
No salt,
Right.
but good
So it
clean water. Yeah.
purifies it.
Yes. So
And
that-
those
so
membranes block things like bacteria.
they will, yeah. But you generally
How do you get the water through, but not the bacteria?
size. Bacteria are significantly bigger than the water.
Really?
Yeah, that's part of it. But yes.
That surprises me.
Blows me away. Just
Yeah.
this stuff
Well, I think a
blows
water
me.
molecule is 3 atoms. Bacteria is a whole chunk of
Wow.
atoms and molecules put together.
Well, let's talk more about that.
Yeah.
Let's talk more about that. Yeah. So we'll come back with a commercial, and then we'll segue to you.
0731 or message us now on the Catfish Tuscaloosa app. Here's Lisa and
Welcome back to the Noon Show.
Yeah, welcome back.
FM 100.1. Thank you so much for being part of our happy little family. Happy New Year to everybody. And thank you for also streaming with us all over the country. We do appreciate all of our listeners, and we appreciate those
We certainly
sponsors
do.
that allow us to have so much fun.
That's right.
So, hopefully that will grow in the coming year. We've got some ambitious plans for 2026 that we'll share with you sometime
Oh yeah.
first of the year. But before we get back to this really fascinating conversation, I'm enjoying the conversation off mic as well, because
Oh yeah.
Lisa and Stephen are talking science, and I'm sitting here going, "Say what?" But we're going to.
I only surface level understand what I'm even asking about, but anyway.
Well, again, to your credit, thank you for bringing the STEM idea to the show, because it's become a centerpiece of who we are, and we're all learning together.
Thank you for welcoming it.
And I'm very thankful for
I am
that.
too.
It's fascinating. Of course,
I am
I'm
too.
looking at entrepreneurial opportunities too. I have to admit.
That's what's always going on his brain, Stephen.
Yeah,
just so you know, he's thinking, how do we make money from this?
We do thank you for being part of our noon show, and we also thank our wonderful sponsor who has been with us from the beginning, our good friends at Bryant Bank. And Bryant Bank has been serving this community for 20 years, and no one does it better.
That's
And
true.
not only is their service so personal, matter of fact, they treat you like family when you're a customer. I have the privilege of being a customer since they opened their doors. And it's a true thing to say that they treat you like family. It's a friend sitting down across the desk, helping you meet your financial goals, financial needs. But again, this time of the year, we've been emphasizing the charitable leadership that Bryant Bank plays in our community. There's no one that takes the lead more often than Bryant Bank in helping our nonprofits, our charitable endeavors succeed. And we appreciate Bryant Bank for their leadership. We love you guys, and looking forward to a wonderful, prosperous 2026 for you and for our community because of your leadership. So if you're not a customer, it's really easy to become one, and I would encourage you to do it by just visiting one of their offices. Their main office located at McFarland Boulevard North, but also very convenient locations in North Fort, up near North River, and in beautiful downtown T-Town. Go by and visit Bryant Bank. Tell them Lisa and Johnny sent you. And remember, they are an equal housing lender and a member of
FDIC.
Go see our friends at Bryant Bank today and find out what the Bryant difference is really all about.
Absolutely. In case you are just now joining us, we have Dr. Stephen Weinman, Associate Professor in the Department of Chemical and Biological Engineering.
Yep.
Have I said that correctly?
That's
And-
a lot of words on that card.
Yeah, I love it. But so he studies or develops, I guess, membranes. Is that developing? Okay, right. And reason this is important is this goes towards improving water quality, our drinking
Yes.
wastewater quality. And I wanted to, before we go really any further, I have a definition, because this is for me more than anybody else. But I'm going to read it out loud.
For this guy who
Oh,
doesn't
for you.
understand much of
This
it.
is for you. So, okay, here's the definition of a membrane.
Yep.
Okay, Dr. Weinman approved this definition, just so you know. A membrane is a thin material that acts like a selective barrier. It lets some things through, like clean water, while blocking other things like salts or contaminants or bacteria. In Dr. Weinman's research, these membranes help clean water and make water treatment more efficient. Now, I just want to put in a little plug for something. But Dr. Weinman, bacteria, it's the only culture some people have.
Oh.
That's why I had to down to my cardigan. So if you're watching us on the Facebook Live, I'm showing you this little
Let me see. That is so funny.
produced by Weber Scientific. It's actually a shopping bag. Are you kidding me?
that's
Is that
fire.
not the? Yeah, thank you for laughing. I'm not good at jokes.
It's worth repeating.
I
It's
love
Say it again. Read it again.
Bacteria. It's the only culture.
Like I,
Some people.
but I said it like I was appealing to. But Dr. Wyman, bacteria. It's the only culture some people have.
That is hilarious.
Okay.
Stephen, we're glad to see you.
Thank you
man.
Yeah,
so
thank you for
much.
having me. I
Thank
appreciate
you for
the
visiting
opportunity.
with us. Because this is fascinating stuff.
Yeah. Can I just? I just really
Absolutely.
want to
Go,
start
go,
at
girl.
number one.
You go.
Okay. So, and Dr. Wyman said, we're not going to just say membrane, we're going to say membrane filter. This makes it more accessible for people like
Mhm.
me. Okay, at its simplest, Dr. Wyman, how would you explain what a membrane filter is and why engineers care about them so much in water treatment?
Yeah, right. So membrane filters are a way that we can use to clean water. Right, that's the basic principle of it. Right, think of your coffee filter. Right, most
Mhm.
people like to drink coffee. Right, that's
Oh,
essentially
sure.
a membrane, just a certain type.
Okay.
Right, so you are wanting the coffee or the flavored water to
Not the
pass through,
grounds.
but
We
not
don't
the
want those
grounds,
grounds, right.
Similar principle. And so you think about what does the unclean water have in it, and what does you want to get it to, right? Presumably potable water for drinking, right? And so you pick
Correct,
the filter,
yes.
you pick the membrane filter that you want to achieve that desired separation. So it's
How
all
in the
about
world-
what you start with and
yeah.
what you end with. So a lot of that is based on size. So bacteria, viruses are a big one. Suspended solids, right? You want your water to be clear. You don't want it to be cloudy. So you've got to be able to remove things like we would call turbidity or just dirt particles that are in the water. But then depending on where you're at, if it's salty, right, we have to remove salts. And that's the most challenging
Reverse
separation.
osmosis.
Oh,
That's
Ooh, I
because of
just
things
used the
like
word.
reverse osmosis. Yeah, exactly. Where we have to separate salts from water, right? So
Why is
C1
Yeah.
salt the
desalination.
most? Why is salt the most difficult?
Because it's the smallest.
Oh, okay.
That makes sense.
It's the smallest, and so that makes it
Okay.
rather
So if your
challenging to be able to
coffee
separate.
filter or coffee grounds were so small, like the same size as the water, that would
Yeah.
be difficult, right?
You'd have
Same
to
thing
use
with
a
the
different type
salt.
of filter to do it, and you'd have to require a lot more energy, right? Typically, you just push it through, right, with your Keurig machine or whatever you happen to have,
Yeah.
and off it goes, right? A lot of times with reverse osmosis, you're needing a lot more pressure in order to force that water through, and so that's where
Pressure.
pressure.
Oh,
So
really?
you use pumps, and
Okay.
pumps go up to significantly high pressures. Maybe something like 800 to
Use
1,000
pumps for
psi.
that?
Oh yeah, you
Okay.
have to.
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow.
So it becomes.
We need to come and see
good pressure
sometime. I want to see what that looks like.
That's a great entree to the question that comes to mind is that let's take it to a local level. Let's take everybody out to the Jerry Plott filtration plant. Everybody,
Let's do it. Let's go.
Everybody knows where that is. Sitting there
Yep.
on Warner Parkway. Go by it every day.
So the Jerry Plott one is the one
that's
north of the river.
That's north of the river. Excuse
Yeah,
me, I had my
yeah,
location north of the river. But let's take this membrane filtration that I assume is used at the Plott filtration
Yes.
plant, and it helps us maintain a high level of quality
Yep.
water.
Yeah, they use a microfiltration membrane there is the specific term for it. So it's more open than what a reverse osmosis membrane would be because you don't have to remove salt. Right?
Right.
Salt is not a concern with
Yeah, of course
Lake
not
Tuscaloosa
here.
water, right?
Yeah.
But it would be if you were on the coast.
Now our water, if I'm not mistaken, it comes from Lake Tuscaloosa primarily, I think.
Yeah, yeah.
Some from the Black Warrior, I assume.
Yeah, I
I
think
don't know.
I believe the other plant, the one on Jack Warner,
Does
I
the
think
Black-
they take it from the Black.
Oh.
But everybody's
okay.
and you might comment on this. Lake Tuscaloosa, which was built in 1969, almost provides us unlimited water resources as a community. Almost.
Yeah, it provides a lot.
I don't think you could ever say totally unlimited.
Right.
But that water is being filtered through the Plott filtration
Yep.
using this kind of technology.
Yeah, absolutely.
And how would you rate our quality of water?
It's pretty good.
Pretty good?
Yeah, it's
On a
pretty good.
scale of 1 to 10, what would that be?
Probably an 8.
An 8? So we still got a ways to go.
Yeah, well, there's always challenges with anything.
Mhm.
So one of the big keys in water treatment is also disinfection. So after you do the treatment process, you typically put a disinfectant in, so that way You don't get bacteria growth while the water is being transported in the piping system where it goes to each individual house or business, etc.
Oh my gracious.
And so there are things called disinfection byproducts that happen to show up. And even at small levels, so things like if you get a weird taste in your water occasionally, like passing it through a Brita filter really helps getting rid of that stuff.
So
Great point. I never. Okay, that makes sense.
can you put membrane filtration inside pipes?
Typically, you don't want it in a pipe, but you could put it in into the inlet of your home. So there are systems that you can install in your house to where simple small systems to where you can get an extra level of filtration.
Would that take it from an 8 to a 10?
Depending on the filter that you use.
Okay, of course.
Well, I have a filter on my, my refrigerator has a water dispenser. I have. Is that the same
it's
kind of
probably-
the same as the filter, or not as good, or?
Depends on the filter. Most of them are activated carbon and not a membrane.
My gosh! Now I've got to
But
look
they
at
still
that.
they can do similar things.
But possibly I could choose a different filter that would be compatible with the refrigerator.
Potentially, yeah. I don't.
Man,
depends on what.
That's
on what they make.
That's not your role.
Yeah, that's not-
That's
depends
not
on
your
what they
role.
make and what they
I
Lisa,
get
you stimulated another question. The membrane filter technology that you study and do research on, are there applications in the, I'm going to say it, the domestic world, in the sense of should these membranes be installed in like refrigerators or our faucets, or is that a way to improve?
They could be, yeah, they could be. I mean, it depends on what your water quality is to begin with, and if we need to improve that at all, or if you have.
He's going to
certain-
turn you into an entrepreneur. Just
Well,
saying.
I'm thinking of, I'll use the term very broadly, appliances.
Yeah.
In a broad
Yeah,
sense,
yeah.
appliances that the community, people can go purchase to
Mhm.
install.
I actually love that question.
Yeah,
I'm very
yeah,
interested.
I mean, there are systems that you can get to install
that are
the same-
membrane based.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's what I'm trying to
set up
get.
to your house. Yeah, you
Yeah.
can get a reverse osmosis system.
Actually, that's
to
a
your
great
house.
question. The more I think about it, I would be very interested to have that.
You absolutely can.
Are those manufactured anywhere?
Yes, but I don't know.
You don't know
who
who
makes those. Yeah, that's
Because I know a lot of, you mentioned the big corporate giants like the
Sure.
DuPonts
there's DuPont.
use
yeah.
a lot of this technology.
Yeah.
But
And there's a lot of membrane manufacturing is very fickle. We have learned over the years it's more of an art necessarily than it is a science, or as much as it is a science.
really,
And like humidity levels matter tremendously. And so a lot of the membrane manufacturers are out actually near San Diego area because the humidity levels are relatively constant. And so they don't want to have
Wow.
big warehouses where they have to control the humidity, right? If they go to a
For
place where
storage
it's
of
relatively
membranes?
humid-
Is that what
for
you mean?
fabricating,
Fabricating,
membranes, yes.
just for
Because
fabricating.
No.
the humidity levels make a huge impact on the performance.
Why is
you
that?
get. Well, there's a lot to it. But the water droplets in the air control what we call precipitation. So when you
Sure.
stick something that
Okay.
doesn't like water, so the membrane in particular doesn't want to dissolve in water, right, which would be bad for us, but it precipitates out. And so if you have a lot of humidity in the air or an uncontrolled amount of humidity in the air, that changes how it precipitates or precipitates fast.
okay,
So,
it's over my head.
It is. I was just saying, aren't you glad we have all these
there's a lot of
incredible?
science to that particular.
Aren't we glad we
aspect.
have all these critical thinkers at the University of Alabama to
I'm-
do the
I'm-
thinking
I'm
for us?
Thankful. to God
And I'm calling it a creative way. The next
you
question.
got it, girl.
So what I want to do is ask Dr. Wyman would come back about, and you've touched on this some, but I want us all to learn a new term. So what is selectivity and why is it important for water quality? And yes, I know you have touched on it some, but we're going to learn more about that term when we come back from the break. You've been listening to the Noon Show on FM 100.1. Don't go away. We will be here right back. I just want people to say selectivity.
Yep,
Because I like that word. Selectivity. Why not? We'll
Yep.
incorporate it into our everyday
I was
vocabulary.
sorry to hear about the humidity issue. I
Yeah,
that is
was
a
already
bummer.
developing a business
So,
plan.
DuPont actually, there's a plant
I mean,
in
really.
outside Minneapolis where they do theirs.
Yeah.
But I don't know why they chose that location
Mm.
in particular.
Well,
But
you've got a lot-
most of them are out on the West Coast and again in the San Diego Oceanside area because
That's interesting. I would think the north would have drier air.
That was not sunshine.
Well, but it's constant. That's what they wanted, was constant humidity.
Oh.
They want it constant to where they don't have to remove or add humidity.
So the south is
Into the
really not a
warehouses.
good
Yeah.
location.
No,
No,
South is a terrible
text.
location.
No.
Yeah, it's a terrible location.
No, it would be.
Now, that doesn't mean you can't use them, but in terms of fabricating
How
them
do you
is
get-
challenging.
Well, you have in your lab, you have a way to control.
Well, yes and no. So we record, I mean, our buildings are
Oh,
okay
well,
controlled, not perfect. So, but we have a humidity gauge in our lab, and so that way, if results seem
Where's your
particularly
lab?
hot,
are you in the Cirque or the?
we're in
the
Bevel.
Bevel?
You're in Bevel. I
I'm
know
in
where
Bevel.
that is.
Oh, yeah,
in
okay.
the basement. So we're
Yeah.
if you look at HM Comer,
You're an
it's just
engineer.
to the left. Yes.
Yeah, you're on the engineer.
Yeah. Bevel's a bit of a hodgepodge of everything.
It
So
is.
There's a
That's-
lot
that
of
is true.
there's a lot of people in Bevel.
That's true. That's true. So it's just
There's a few of us. that
variety
focus
of
in that area.
stuff.
Yeah.
exactly right.
And then I think you should ask this question, Johnny, unless you have something else you want to ask after he answers this other thing. Number 8. Ooh, you might like that one better.
What is fouling?
It's when membranes get
Oh,
Clogged.
Clogged.
Clogging a filter.
oh, I see.
how does your innocent independent well actually Johnny wants to talk about that more, but at the end probably
If we can,
if you can.
because we want to
Do you
keep that
want-
in front
which
of
one?
everybody too.
Ooh, that's a good one though. Ooh,
That is a good one.
no, that's a better question. So I no,
Do-
no, let's
do
talk about
one.
selectivity and quickly go to this
Yeah,
one.
do that.
Let's do that.
Do that.
Let's do that.
And
I like
I'll
that.
catch up. Don't worry about
Well, heck, you can ask number 7.
Again, we're.
You ask number
I
7.
appreciate you putting it in terms
talk
we
about
all
that.
can understand.
That's part of our job.
I mean,
I mean,
Why do you
it's a
think
hard part.
Katie recommended him?
That's a challenge.
but
we
I
have to do
told
every
the
day.
story once. Most folks look at researchers at the university,
Yeah.
something they can't touch.
Oh yeah, it's an alien.
It's like you're bilingual doing
Yeah.
it that way.
Now here's Lisa.
Welcome back to the Noon Show right here
Welcome
on
back.
FM 100.1. Thank you so much for being part of our great and growing Noon Show family, streaming us all over the country. And I don't know, today's is a good example of what we're doing, hopefully, to raise the level of learning, conversation, and understanding, because understanding is the key to a lot of things. We were just talking off air. You know, and Lisa, we've had this conversation, and Steve and I was mentioning it to you, that oftentimes we, the lay people out in the community, and
Right.
I'm guilty of it, look at the research going on at our great university, and we can't relate. But we're finding out it's all relatable. It's very relatable. These are real
It is
people.
relatable.
They happen to be unbelievably intelligent, but they're doing really important work. And Stephen, to your credit, thank you for putting it in layman's terms so we can understand.
Yeah.
If
Thank you
we
for
can
having me.
understand, because I'm an Auburn graduate and I don't understand
Mhm.
anything.
Yeah. That's fair.
But
Look, I'm over here building new neural pathways, like right at this moment.
But
Yes.
again, Lisa and I have talked about it. Our audience, you know, they're learning. And so
I
we're
am.
very
I'm learning right
thankful
now.
for that. And if that's a role we can play, I guarantee you we're going to grow it.
Well, it's
And-
important for us to make our science accessible.
It
to people.
is. It is, because I don't think that effort's been made enough. And we're trying to raise
Yeah.
the level.
Yeah, no, I
and,
appreciate this. This is awesome.
very thankful for the university and all the key folks who have helped us and guided us. And we do deeply appreciate it, because this is important. And it's important we all learn and understand what the applications are. And one of the things we are also very grateful for are our wonderful sponsors. And one of our finest sponsors, who's been with us from the beginning, is our good friends down at Hudson Pool Fine Jewelers.
Love that place.
And wow, it's Christmas Central for most of us.
I was shutting them down on Christmas Eve.
We love those guys. They are been in business. This coming year will be their 41st year in business, and they're an iconic retailer, one of the best family-owned local businesses you could ever want to shop at. And do they ever serve us all so wonderfully with beautiful
certainly
people
do.
and friendly smiles and great understanding of how to find the right gift to put a smile on somebody else's face. And
Absolutely.
if you have not shopped at Hudson Pool this Christmas, shame on you. And but no, seriously, go by and see our friends at Hudson Pool. They are always there for us, and they do the best of the best. I tell you, they know how to make things happen. And if you're an out-of-towner, hudsonpool.com is all you got to know, hudsonpool.com. And so go visit our friends, shop local, and shop with our friends at Hudson Pool. And Merry Christmas again, and Happy New Year to our friends down at Hudson Pool Jewelers.
Absolutely. And don't forget, there's always the Just Because gift.
Absolutely. And again, we've talked about it 100 times. There's no one better at finding the perfect gift to put a smile on somebody else's face. They just know how to do it.
Or the Get Yourself Out of the Doghouse gift.
Yeah, and sometimes that's really important. Someone like me who stays in timeout all the time.
Oh my goodness gracious. Okay, so I would like to go ahead and address that term that I was kind of throwing out there right before the break, selectivity.
Yeah, what
And
is that?
Dr. Wyman has really touched on this, but I want us to really know and understand. So how, like, what is selectivity? Why is this so important for water quality?
Yeah, right. So the selectivity essentially governs how well your separation is happening, right? So if you take, let's say, water and bacteria, right? How many water molecules are going through per bacteria? And we want that number to be as high as we can possibly get it, because we want as little bacteria to zero bacteria in our water as we
can. Can it ever be an absolute zero on the bacteria? Or no?
Probably not absolute zero, but we can get it pretty close.
Pretty close. But
We
you're
can
doing
get
the
it
best
really
you can.
close.
That's why we're going to get the Brita in our house,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I
So,
guess, yeah.
and to that point, Lisa, is that we have a responsibility too. I mean, we can sit back and complain and point fingers that our water's not clean enough, but there's only so much you can do at the filtration plant. So we all have a responsibility at home.
Yeah,
too.
right. Just the journey
Yeah,
from the plant
yeah.
to our home.
Well, and there's
right?
Yeah.
there's primary drinking standards and secondary drinking standards.
Oh,
So
really?
yeah.
What does that mean?
What does that
so
mean?
primary standards are what is enforceable, or what the federal government requires you to meet. So you have to meet these specific criteria: bacteria levels, salt
The
levels,
basics,
etc.
the bare basics.
Secondary ones are more about aesthetics of the water. So it could be things like color or taste, some things that maybe aren't necessarily as
okay.
harmful. But those can also be then legislated at the state level or further local level.
Are they
depending
legislated in Alabama?
So primary for safety
some
standards.
are, yeah,
okay.
some are. It depends. I mean, again, there's a ton of these different. Every individual chemical will have their own level of monitoring that they want to have on those types of things.
Okay.
Okay, I'm sorry. Did you have some?
No, I was just thinking out loud is, and I think I mentioned this to Stephen, is in the rural areas of Alabama, seems like it'd be more of a challenge.
Yeah.
It can be, right? It's harder to get centralized distribution systems out there. And so a lot of times rural communities will revolve around well waters or really small treatment plants if they have enough.
That does make it
to
more
support that.
difficult
So,
for people in rural areas.
depending on the quality of your well will greatly influence how
Are there standards that have to be met?
Yes, but some of it, I mean, depends. If you're in a rural facility and just taking water out of out and using it, you're just going to use it what you got. too.
Absolutely. That helps me to segue to this question. So can you share an example of how a membrane filter might make a difference in places where clean water is harder to come by?
Yeah, absolutely. Right. So it's all about getting small, accessible systems cheap enough that people can afford it and be willing to use it. There's a number of organizations out there. One that I've known and done stuff with is called Water Mission, based in South Carolina.
Oh,
And
okay.
when disasters happen, and whether it's local or they like to do things in the sort of Caribbean Gulf area type of stuff, and they'll go and say they have a treatment system on a truck, and they'll take it and go and be able
Okay.
to process clean water for people when disasters happen, so that they can have clean water to utilize, right? To drink,
Okay.
bathe in, etc. Types of things. So there's ways that you can make portable, accessible units instead of these larger systems like we have perhaps in town.
The portable systems, what does that look like? Like,
So
how
it'd
do you
be on like a trailer.
Access on a trailer.
Yeah, on a trailer or in the back of a truck, something like that you can
Okay.
that you can take water, clean it, and it comes out right there for you, and you can fill up containers,
see.
etc. Things
Okay.
like that to be able to utilize it.
Okay.
I've got an off the wall question. It just hit me. You were mentioning earlier that filtration using salt water is one of the most difficult to remove.
Mhm.
But then I think about 2/3 of the world is covered by salt water.
Absolutely.
And we've
Wow.
got places all over the world. Matter of fact, I'm part of a couple of organizations that we're always building wells in these places, to try and get some clean
Yeah.
water to
Yeah.
people. What does the technology and the future research look like in taking salt water and making it more potable and usable, especially in countries that don't have this? They don't have water.
Historically, there's a term called distillation that was used for this. And so that's basically you boil the water off and recollect it where the salt is left behind, right? You maybe perhaps in elementary school done the experiment where you took salt water, put it in a petri dish, set it by the window, come back the next day and you see the water's evaporated and you got salt crystals left behind. Right?
Well, look at that.
Similar principle, right? So you just collect that water instead of just letting it evaporate off, instead of letting it go away. So that's historically what's been used, but now reverse osmosis is actually the more dominant technology around the world. And so places like the West Coast, the East Coast, and then other countries, Israel's a big one that uses desalination.
Is that a really complicated process? I mean,
it's yes and no. I mean, you've got to do some pre-treatment to be able to remove things that might foul the membrane or stick to the membrane that would create problems later in the system. But it's just the biggest thing is, do you have the infrastructure to support the pumping costs? Do you have the infrastructure to house it and people to operate it, right? Those types of things is the big concern.
As you're describing this process, Johnny, I wish that we had some way to visit these kinds of places that do these things and show people what this looks like.
You could Google, if you Google like a reverse osmosis treatment plant, you'll see a picture and it'll look like a whole bunch of white cylinders all in a row, nice big stacks. And one of the nice thing about them is they have lower land area requirements than typical treatment processes.
Compressed cylinders? What do you mean? Or
no, they're cylinders that have these membranes in them. So they take these membranes, which to an average person would look like a piece of paper, and they roll them up so that they can get a higher amount of surface area per volume than just laying it
just
flat.
keep refiltering it.
So you get a high surface area per volume, and so it allows you to have a smaller land area required.
Does part of your research include this?
So we focus on making the membranes, not then extending it past that.
I mean, in terms of this
reverse osmosis.
Is that on y'all's research agenda?
That is our the main focus my lab has been on over the 8 years.
Really?
7.5 years I've been at the university.
Their world
that was actually the first project I got funded on, and we're continuing to work on this.
So this world applications for what you're doing.
Yeah, absolutely.
That is phenomenal.
Aren't you proud to know
I'm
that?
proud to know. In every university researchers
should all know
come to
these
visit,
things, yes.
every single one of them have world potential applications.
That's right.
Now that's exciting.
The work that's done out here is so important.
I mean, not only that, of course, I'm thinking about a new economy.
Yeah.
This is knowledge-based economy that we're talking about. That is, I think, the future of our community.
Yes, sir.
I really do.
I agree.
This is exciting.
It is exciting.
Watch me jump through the roof.
Here he goes. He's got his superhero cape on, but listen,
This is really good stuff.
It is, and we're going to get more of this right after we come back from the break.
Uh-oh.
Hot dog. You've been listening to the Noon Show on FM 100.1. Don't go away. We will be right back.
Every time one of you guys show up, I learn a couple things. Number one, you're good people. You're really nice folks.
I just want to give this to somebody.
Easy to talk to.
Do you want this? Do you want this? Excellent Rose?
I
just picked it up in a conference somewhere.
I just hope that I do know, and I'm getting ready to get to interview him, I think. But the new president, I think, is going to take all of this to a whole new level.
Yeah, we'll see.
He's dedicated. Dr. Bell took it, I think, to a huge new level. But this new president, from what I've been told, not only going to take the research to new levels, but the applications. I'm excited.
A lot of it depends on
yes, I am.
What the IP space is and things
well,
like
that. Of course,
where you can operate.
Of course, around here, we're advocating a research park.
Sure.
It's time.
Yeah.
It's time.
Yeah.
We've always been aligned and positioned to do it, but we're now timely to do
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
And I'm excited
Are we going
about
to talk about Ken? Maybe we should. But
Yeah.
what about Blogo?
Yeah, we need to get that one in too.
I'll do Blogo. Well,
And I'll do Ken at the end. Want to do that? Okay. Welcome back to the Noon Show, right
Yeah,
here
welcome
on
back.
FM 100.1 and streaming everywhere on thenoonshow.com, hitting that little listen now button. And once again, we appreciate your involvement and your listening, but we also appreciate those who make it possible. And we've got a new sponsor, Miss Sunshine.
we do. I would like
Yeah.
to welcome to Town Square
Yeah,
Blogo Salon and Med Spa.
absolutely.
Yes, we love that place over there. So they have the most convenient way for you to go get your little blowout done. Like say, this is just a me thing. On a Saturday, your hair gonna look good at church on Sunday, that sort of thing. And you know, it's not too late. You can always buy a gift certificate or gift card
You can.
for Blogo Salon and Med Spa.
Mhm.
You know, you got birthdays, any kinds of
All kind of good
occasions.
stuff coming
You
up.
know, we still want to talk about buy local.
That's right.
Yeah, and this is a
A Happy New
locally
Year gift.
and Happy New Year to Lee and Misty
Yeah.
Garrison.
That's
They
right.
are civic-minded people. They
Very
support
much so.
they support this community. I think that's very important. So we should support them. And after all, Blogo Salon and Med Spa, it's where modern luxury is combined with an inviting atmosphere to create an unforgettable experience.
Happy New Year. What a classy place.
It is a classy
You
place.
walk in, it feels like class.
I love it.
Yeah, they're really cool. They
Um,
really are.
I want to check out the med spa. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah.
I've been on the other side of it, you know, with the blowouts and stuff, and you
Yeah.
know the hair and makeup. But
Mhm.
I haven't tried. I'm going to do it. I'm going to get over there.
Well, I haven't tried out that Vitality booth, which I want to learn more about.
That too.
You know, so they got
That
so
too.
much.
Well, I want a certificate to try it out for free.
Of
I
course.
bought it.
They gave us some.
They gave us some too,
Yeah, they
but I
did.
bought one in my blind bag. You know,
That's
they had that fundraiser for
Hospice.
hospice.
Mhm,
Yes,
they did.
of West Alabama.
Great
That's
folks.
right.
But yeah, and
Yeah.
we were in the middle of a really important conversation with Stephen, and let's get back to that.
I would love to. I was kind of wondering, Stephen, water treatment sounds technical. What part of your research do you think would surprise most people if they really understood it?
How complex things can actually be, right? There,
Because you compare it to a coffee filtration, it sounds simple, but you're saying it's not.
right. So a lot of what we focus on is making membranes and how does changing a variable impact what the resultant membrane
Yeah.
is. And what we end up finding is that when you change one thing, other things happen to also change, and that makes things
Yikes.
trying to decipher. Well, how does this variable impact this? And it ends
You
up.
got to think
You know,
about
to Lisa's
humidity.
point,
Yeah.
No,
And there's things you can't
no,
control,
no.
like perhaps the humidity level,
Yeah.
or if someone else is talking to you while you make it, that could, you know,
Yeah, we wouldn't
that
have
those
thought
minor
about
couple
that.
seconds or distraction.
Really? That really?
We
Oh yeah,
wouldn't-
there's people say like if you breathe on it wrong,
Yeah,
Forget
it's
it.
kind of
You-
crazy. But to Lisa's point, you know, again, we turn on our taps.
Yeah.
And this clear water
Take it for
comes
granted.
out.
Take it
It's-
for granted,
it's got a
100%
clean
every day.
taste, It's got a
Mhm.
clean odor. We use it every day, but we don't know how complex that water is.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what you're saying to me is
yeah,
that,
part of it.
you know,
Sure.
trying to find a way to make it even more clean. I get more clean. I don't know if that's proper English or not, but more cleaner and deliverable cleaner
Yeah.
to more people. That's
Absolutely.
kind of what it all, excuse the pun, boils down to.
Yeah.
And it really, because again, I'm thinking about my rural friends.
Yeah.
That to me sounds like the challenge.
Right.
It always is. Both on
That would be the
providing
biggest
potable
challenge.
water, but also wastewater treatment. Both of those provide a big challenge.
Oh, and now you brought up another subject, wastewater treatment. We don't realize how complicated that is and
Yeah.
how important it is.
Yep. Yep.
Because there's a lot of wastewater.
I literally never
Yeah.
think about
You
that.
can't just discharge that right to you don't want your poop water going straight to the Black Warrior River, do you?
Well, it's,
No.
but it's not only that, it's sewer drainage water, that's storm drainage. I mean, there's all kind of,
Stormwater is definitely a concern too.
all parts of that formula that's got to be complicated.
Yeah. That's why everywhere is a little bit different. Everyone
Wow.
uses slightly different treatment technologies, slightly larger sizes. I teach a class sometimes on water and wastewater treatment, And I have all the students will pull up throughout the semester their local water treatment plant and wastewater treatment plant, and we get to look at everywhere's different.
Yeah.
No one's exactly the same. Different sizes, different techniques, all sorts of different things. It's
That
really
brings
fun.
up a question. Do you use a lot of students in your research?
Absolutely.
Of course.
Right. My job is to train and educate students. That is my
Graduate and
right?
undergraduates,
Graduate
right?
and undergraduate.
And postdocs, I would think.
I actually haven't had a postdoc
Not
yet,
yet.
but
You
but
will.
Graduate
You'll
and
get-
undergraduate
yeah.
students, right? That is my number one job, is to train and
is.
educate the next, papers, publications, getting grants in, right? Those are all mechanisms to
That
help
goes
make
back
them
to an
successful.
earlier conversation we were having. Now, the cuts in federal funding
Yeah.
affects those students.
Absolutely, right? We use those funds to pay the students so that they actually come to graduate school.
Have
right?
you
'Cause
lost
otherwise they
any
wouldn't come.
students because of cuts?
I have not lost any,
Okay, good.
but making
that's
sure
good.
that we have enough funding to continue to pay these students over the course of their 4 to 5 to 6 years in the program, right? We got to make sure we have that funding so that we can support them.
Absolutely, 100%. I have 2 rapid fire questions
Sure.
I would like to ask you, but I'm going to share. I'm going to be nice and I'm going to share one of them with you.
Oh,
Do you want the first one or the second
I'll
one?
take the second one.
Okay, I'll
Ladies
ask.
first.
Well, that's very nice of you. I appreciate that. Okay, here's the first one.
Brains and beauty before me.
Oh, come on. If someone wanted to get involved in environmental engineering or water research in college, what's the simple first step that you'd recommend, Dr. Wyman?
Go ask the professor that you would like to work with, can I work in your lab?
Well, what? Are you kidding?
No, that's the easiest way, right?
Is that the easiest way?
Oh yeah, there are times I'll send out advertisements to our students like, "Hey, I've got some openings," and sometimes you don't get anybody that ends up being interested. I'm like, "Here's some projects that we got working on." Like,
I've heard that labs recruit in
So,
different ways.
There are different strategies to do it.
There are different ways
There are
to
different
recruit
ways to do it.
graduate
Yeah,
students.
yeah, graduate and undergraduate.
And undergraduate.
Yeah, both.
Well, the
There are
next
different
question,
strategies for
Lisa,
both of them.
Lisa does a great job of preparing. She comes up with some terrific questions. But before we do that, I do want to remind the audience one more time.
Okay.
We need to let our congressional delegation know that, number one, thank you for supporting restoring research dollars to the
Yes,
federal
absolutely.
budget, because as Stephen
Yes.
was pointing out, it not only affects the research, which is obviously really, really important, but it impacts our students,
Yes, tremendously.
the future of our students and their leadership in
And
the
our
future,
workforce.
and the workforce and retention of our
Yep.
students. So
Yep.
don't forget that, as we're going to continue to remind you. But kind of as we're getting near the end of the show, this is I think a good appropriate question to look ahead. Looking ahead 5-10 years,
Mhm.
what do you have hope for in terms of your type of research in this membrane filter technology research that you're so involved with?
Yeah, ideally in 10 years, we would love to have something that's been utilized at the industrial scale that's making an impact to people, whether it's a company that needs a particular treatment solution for a particular problem that they have, or maybe we have a solution to some emerging contaminant that we don't know yet, and that our membranes will be able to filter those out, right? There's always new emerging contaminants, right? And
Yeah.
20 years ago, you never heard the word PFAS, and now it's everywhere in the water treatment community, right? So how do we treat whatever that happens to be the next version of that?
Well, I'll add to your 10
Oh, you
years.
said PFAS.
Yeah.
You said PFAS.
Before we get to PFAS, I just
You
want to
said
remind
PFAS.
everybody that the next 10 years, my hope would be that Tuscaloosa has a research park, and we're the center of applications and product development. That's what I would love to see coming
That'd be
out of the
great.
university, because it's time.
Yeah.
It's time that we have a research park here, and the university's leadership is phenomenal, I think. And but anyway, PFAS is something we're learning about around
Yeah,
here.
PFAS, also known as forever chemicals. So
Yes.
the per and poly.
Fluoroalkyl substances.
Thank you, fluoroalkyl
Woo,
substances.
That's a big name.
Yeah, and I read, and y'all don't kill me on this, but I was reading that literally it's the hydrogen atoms get replaced by the fluorine. Is that
Yes.
correct?
Well, that's
That's probably not the right way to say it.
yeah, the chemical. So if you think of a
So-
typical soap, instead of having carbon hydrogen bonds, it has carbon fluorine
Fluorine.
bonds.
And fluorine is a very excitable
Well,
or strong or can be strong.
The carbon fluorine bonds are one of the
Very
hardest, if not
strong.
the hardest. to
And
break.
that's what makes them boogers, like as far as they
That's what
don't,
makes them
they,
forever chemicals. Is 'cause
and
you
not-
can't destroy them.
correct. And one good thing to know is like if you get them in your body, you can sweat them out. But better not to get them in there at all. What does your labs focus on? Forever, we'll say forever chemicals.
Yeah, I mean, there's selective absorption technologies that we're interested in, and can we selectively remove these from water because they're
Thank
very
you
low,
for that, by the
they're
way.
very low
Thank you for that.
concentrations, right?
We
They're very
need
low
that.
concentrations. And so they're really challenging to remove, and you've got to selectively remove them. In the case of other things that maybe aren't as harmful for you, can we get rid of that stuff?
I mean, I read about this study that the CDC did where the majority of Americans show PFAS
Some level, yeah.
in
everyone
their
has-
body.
Pretty much everyone
levels.
has some level.
They have some level of
them
PFAS in their
inside at
body.
some point.
Well, when I found out
They can cause
that
cancer,
you were getting a
all
lot
kinds of
from
things.
your cookware, this
Yeah.
non-stick
Yeah,
cookware,
yeah.
I put mine away.
Yeah.
I got my old iron skillet back out.
Yeah. No, it's the cookware. I mean, there's all sorts of things. There's,
Yeah,
different container bottles might have it.
Yeah.
Like you never know.
it's
They're
crazy.
literally everywhere, and that's part
Paper
of the problem.
Use paper cups, not plastic.
Well,
Or
potentially.
steel or metal,
Yeah,
maybe.
steel metal. It's great. I got a metal one here. Right?
Yeah.
Which
Yeah,
those
yeah.
work well.
But you know what Dr. Brenda Branch said, because you said about bringing out your iron skillet, it's actually good for you. Your body absorbs iron.
That's right.
Yeah, right. Iron. Yeah, iron's an essential.
Will you
nutrient
talk
for your
about that
body.
a little bit? We don't have much time left, but just like, I mean, I didn't know that.
Yeah, right. I mean, there's a number of essential nutrients that your body needs to have, and iron's certainly one of those.
Yeah.
And so,
And if you cook in an
you want
iron
to be careful. You don't
skillet,
want too much iron, but
Maybe not too
enough
much.
iron. Yeah, cooking in your iron skillet. can
I
probably
wonder
be
if the conversion from iron skillets to other types of cookware has led to the uptick in people having issues with their iron levels.
I don't know,
no clue.
but
I don't know either. But
I'm now worried.
I want someone to answer it now. We'll find someone,
I
right?
won't. Y'all got me worried about this PFAS stuff. This stuff kind of throws.
It's not
a
as a
curve.
concern here, but there are definitely other places
Yeah.
where they were used industrially, right? I mean, the big one they think about is Decatur.
Where it's or plastics manufactured, for
yeah,
example.
where they use PFAS in the manufacturing of whatever product they utilize, right?
Well,
Decatur's a big one on that.
Stephen, this
Thank you so
again
much.
has been
Thank you for having me. I
fascinating,
appreciate
and
this.
Oh my gosh!
it was a
Thank you for
wonderful
coming to see us.
conversation, and thank you for keeping us, helping us understand a very practical, applied way. That's what I admire about you guys. Not only you're doing deep dives into really complicated issues, you're able to talk to us and help us understand, and we
Yes,
are grateful for
That's
that.
the important
part of our
for us.
job.
Yes.
If we do stuff and we don't make it accessible, that's
Yeah.
not particularly
Well,
helpful.
big
to
old happy
the
New
whole
Year to
society
you.
too. Yes, happy New Year.
Yes,
We're gonna
happy.
come see you soon.
We are
Please
going to
do.
come and see you. Don't think we won't. We will. We'll be
Yeah,
knocking on your door
we'll
soon.
show up at your door.
Oh yeah, so don't be surprised. But we are out of time, Stephen,
are
and I'm
indeed.
going to close this out. But I will let everyone know we do have a show tomorrow,
We do.
and we have our dear friend of the show, Edie Hand. She's a book author. She will be coming on during the first segment tomorrow, and then Mr. Stephen Dithridge of the Tuscaloosa
I was
Thread.
talking to
Maybe that
Stephen.
name rings a bell to some
I
people.
was talking to Stephen, our editor-in-chief of the Thread, talking to him this morning about a few stories we're going to look at that happened in 2025, but we're going to look ahead to 2026 and maybe some stories that will be developing.
Oh, that's cool.
So it's going to be a cool show. Y'all don't want to miss this one.
You don't think that Stephen will think this is funny, do you? Bacteria, it's the only culture some people
I
have.
love that.
I don't know, Stephen. I don't know if it'll hit the same way with
It's going
him.
to show up.
Well,
On,
the difference, Stephen.
it's going to show up on Facebook soon.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, I got to get this.
We got to get out
I
of here.
got to get us out of here. I want to remind everyone though, don't forget to spay or neuter your furry friends and keep those tails wagging with up-to-date vaccinations. This is Lisa Jones signing off for the Noon Show. But before we go, I'd like to wish everyone a splendiferous rest of their day. See you on the radio tomorrow.
Great show.
Woo! Great
Thank
show.
you. Thank you. This was fun.
That's a wrap.